friends, how are you? I hope your day has been going nothing short of amazing, as it should go. So today I want to discuss one of the most influential YouTubers slash influencers who has shared her family on this YouTube platform for many years. I mean, before there were Chris's and Queens and Damien and Bianca's, there was Latoya forever, formerly known as Latoya Ali, and her ex-husband Adam Ali. So Latoya just did an interview on her YouTube channel about her failing marriage and why she's just recently divorced her ex-husband Adam. So if you're interested in hearing a little background on Miss Latoya forever, please be sure to watch this video in its entirety to see where she's coming from and to see where sis is coming from, because you know I'm going to give my opinion. With that being said, let's roll the clip.
How did you meet your ex-husband?
Okay, so I met Adam at the end of 2011. We were actually Facebook friends, and he reached out to me on Facebook wanting to start a team of influencers who uplift and support each other. And I was actually attracted to him. So we met up and we created a YouTube video together because he was also a YouTuber. He was like a fitness motivational YouTuber and I did comedy. We met up and we hit it off.
So when did you start dating?
Adam and I started dating probably 2 weeks after we met. It happened rather quickly. We actually moved in together 6 months after we met. So everything happened so fast. I feel like it was so rushed. Looking back now, but yeah, we started dating soon.
Okay, friends, so I am not in any way against love at first sight. I think it is actually a beautiful thing, but I also think it can be a recipe for disaster. And I think that's what happened in Latoya and Adam's case. I think they moved way too fast without getting to know each other. And that is exactly why they are recently divorced. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down below what you think about love at first sight and moving quickly, like just going in head first without a care in the world. Let me know, friends. Let's continue.
I feel like Adam and I have more of a business relationship. I feel like I was married to my business partner, like my manager. I didn't feel like I was married to my soulmate, or I didn't feel like he was like the love of my life.
So from my observation as a longtime supporter, I would have to disagree with that, because I feel like he was the love of her life. I just don't feel like she was the love of his life. Like, I would say to my husband all the time, like, oh my gosh, look how sweet she is to him. Look how submissive she is. And she shows him so much affection and he doesn't reciprocate it. Like, he literally acted as if she was his roommate. And I used to feel so bad for her. And I could totally understand why she feels how she feels.
The guy that was ordained by God, I just feel like I married my manager. We never really had that friendship, that bond in our relationship.
I mean, that is something that was so obvious to her viewers. Like, her comments would be lit up with people telling her, Latoya, Adam does not love you. Adam does not want you. It was so evident. This man was so cold to her. He was all about the brand and all about the business. And frankly, I think that's why he was with her. I don't think he loved her at all as a partner. I think he loved how business oriented she was, how goal oriented she was. And he knew that they can turn that into an empire together. That's what I honestly think. But yeah, it was sad to watch that unfold.
Did your family like him?
Since Adam and I kind of rushed into our relationship, my family, they didn't really take it seriously. They didn't think it was going to last at all. But as time went on, it was a struggle because Adam and I, we come from two different cultural backgrounds.
It's so crazy to hear Latoya speak on everything I've always speculated. Again, as a viewer, it was something that stood out to me. Latoya has always been this outgoing personality, very family oriented, loud, opinionated. And Adam, on the other hand, always seemed to be a bit reserved and introverted, especially around her family, which led me to believe that he didn't really care for them and they really didn't care for him. And I'm sure that can cause a lot of friction in a marriage.
He's from East Africa, Tanzania, from a Muslim background. My family is from Trinidad and we come from a Christian background. It's two totally different worlds. Like, in his culture, the women are covered up from head to toe. In my culture, we're on the street half naked, dancing around. So I feel like the cultural differences definitely caused issues in our marriage, and it affected the relationship most definitely.
I personally think that those issues should have been highly anticipated for the simple fact that you knew what lifestyle you were accustomed to and you knew what you were about to get into dating and or marrying a Muslim man or a man that comes from a different cultural background. That's what you signed up for. So honestly, the only person to blame for those issues has to be you, Latoya.
I remember when Adam didn't allow me to have a Christmas tree in my home. He didn't want it in the common area of my home. He would always say, put that, traditional stuff in your own space, in your office. Like I would have to hide this Christmas tree. And I know it might seem petty to some people, but I grew up Christian. I grew up around a family. I have a huge loving family. We're all so close. And Christmas is a big part of, me and my family. It's all about love. It's all about Christ. And that was kind of taken away from me when I got with Adam. I literally had to beg him for a Christmas tree.
It was elective. Again, you chose to enter a serious relationship with a man that had a totally different cultural background. That was your decision. He did not put a gun to your head and say, hey, you have to be with me. No, that is a choice you chose to make. And you chose to alter your lifestyle. So I don't think that it should be considered him taking away so much from you because you played a major part in it. And don't get me wrong, I don't think how you feel is petty, because when you grow up with certain things that are dear to you, certain beliefs and certain traditions, it is pretty sad to have to give that up. But again, that's something that you chose.
I feel like after I had children is when I put my foot down when it came to, holidays, because it's always been a part of me and I've always wanted to introduce that to my children.
I am so happy that Latoya decided to share this with us because it is such a valuable lesson. It is never a good outcome when you rush into things. Try to get to know the person. Don't rush. Ask yourself questions. Am I compatible with this person? Can I see myself with this person in the future? Do I see myself having children with this person? How is it going to be if I do have children with this person? Being that we come from different cultural backgrounds, will I be able to adapt to that person's cultural beliefs? These are the things that we should ask ourselves before making such a big commitment. And also pay attention to red flags. I honestly think that Latoya ignored the red flags. For instance, she said herself, she didn't see him as a soulmate. She saw him as a business partner. So then why would you commit to this man and have 3 children with him? Not only did you hurt yourself, but the children are going to suffer now because now you're divorced. And don't get me wrong, I know we can't see the future. None of us have a crystal ball telling us whether or not a person is going to be good for us in the future. But I do believe that there is always going to be a better outcome if you take your time and really get to know a person and make sure that this is what you want. I really do. And I feel like if you don't, then you'll end up resentful and you'll be mad at yourself for making such a big decision in such a short period of time.
Were your differences between cultures and traditions something that you guys discussed before you got married? Something that you discussed that you were willing to give up or willing to compromise on?
The reason why Adam and I got married is because I got pregnant with my firstborn, Samia, back in 2014. And both sides of the family pressured us into getting married. You know, you guys need to be a family. You guys need to do things the right way. And that is the main reason why Adam and I got married.
I honestly think that you could see it all over her face that she and Adam definitely did discuss what he expected of her as far as how he wanted his family to run culturally. I honestly do. But this is another thing, another big mistake. Why would you marry someone because your family thinks that you should be married? I'm sorry, I understand that some families do pressure people to marry because of religious reasons, but I don't think that's a good idea, because now you're divorced with 3 children and they're fine. When it all boils down to it, they don't have to worry about getting divorced and having a tumultuous relationship with a person that they once loved. They don't have to worry about that, you do. So I honestly think that's another valuable lesson. Do what's going to make you happy, not your family.
So we didn't really have time to discuss, values and, religion and just our beliefs. We just kind of jumped into marriage because we got pregnant. We literally got married in a condo. We said our vows in a meeting room in a condo.
How long was it before you got married after moving in?
Okay, so we moved in together April 2012, and then we got married 2 years later.
So you mean to tell me in a 2-year span, they didn't once discuss what they expected of each other culturally? And in the future, if they should get married? That's a major red flag, because if you aren't having those kind of conversations in a 2-year span, then you shouldn't have got married.
In January of 2014, I convinced Adam to move to LA because I felt like Canada wasn't the right place for Adam and I to thrive in the social media worlds. Like, all the social media influencers were in LA. My dream was to always be on television. And so we moved to LA, and it was crazy because we had all of these interviews with all of these TV networks. We were collaborating with all of these different YouTube stars. It was so amazing, but little did I know, I was pregnant. It was so crazy because I'm like, Adam, I'm always sleeping. I'm working out every day. What's going on with me? I think LA is not the place for me. I took the test and I was pregnant.
How did that make you feel?
After I found out I was pregnant, I was excited. I was nervous. I was over the moon. I was happy. And so I decided to start a vlog channel and just document my experience being pregnant.
Were you excited about who you were having your daughter with? About having a child with your ex-husband?
I was most definitely excited about being pregnant. As time went on, I got more and more excited, and it was something for Adam and I to bond over.
I am no relationship expert, but this is just common knowledge. So many women make this mistake, and this is a major mistake. A baby isn't going to change your relationship or how a man feels about you. It is not. Of course, you're going to have a new bond because you're entering parenthood together. But that is it, and that is all. It's not going to change how he personally feels about you. So many women make this mistake. We see it all the time.
You know, although we weren't really friends like that, we never really had a connection on that level, and it was more business, as I said before. That was something beautiful that we could both, experience together.
Do you think that in him being your business partner, that made him a little bit controlling at times?
I wasn't too business savvy, nor did I want any part of the business side of things. I just wanted to do what I love to do what I'm passionate about, and that's creating content for people to enjoy. That was my main focus, and his focus was just, how can we scale this? How can we get this to the next level?
I felt this because on every single vlog, that is all her ex-husband did was work, work, work. And I honestly think that is all he was there for.
I think the control came in is when we just started creating everything jointly. He started filing all my taxes, he started paying all my bills. He was just way too involved in the business side of things, but at the end of the day, I gave him that control.
This right here is indicative to him just wanting to secure the bag. I think that's what his plan was from the very beginning. This is a major red flag. Why did he want so much control over her brand?
And that's my fault.
So when did the relationship first start to go downhill?
Back in 2015, in the summer, I was a party girl. I was always going out with friends, drinking, of course, every single weekend. And I ended up pregnant with my son, Zane. And I took a pregnancy test and I told Adam that, I'm pregnant. And his reaction was something that I never expected in my entire life. He said, "You need to get rid of that baby. I hate you. I don't want to be with you. You're not the woman that, I ever want. I don't even know why you're keeping this baby. How dare you ruin my life like this?"
I am not trying to defend Adam's actions at all. I think it is absolutely disgusting that he treated his pregnant wife that way. But I will say, I feel like he reacted this way because at this point in time, Latoya was already a completely different woman than she was when he first married her. Like I mentioned earlier, she was submissive and she was adapting to his lifestyle of preference with him being a Muslim man. But you heard her say, I was out partying with friends, I was drinking, and this is why what I said is so important. It is so important for you to make sure you are ready to commit and to adapt when entering a marriage, because if not, you end up resentful like she did and you start rebelling, and it's a recipe for disaster.
And that pregnancy took a toll on me, I just feel like that was the start of the downward spiral of our marriage.
Did he ever cheat on you?
Not that I'm aware of, but should I talk about this? A few years ago, I went through Adam's phone and I saw him texting a girl inappropriately, and I saved her number in my phone. In 2019, while I was pregnant with Aya, I saw messages from a weird name, and I started reading messages, and he was trying to take this girl to Cabo while I was pregnant. I went in my phone, I put the number in my phone, and her number was still saved in my contacts. So that's how I knew that you were communicating with this girl.
Honestly, I am not shocked at all by what Latoya just said. Adam was so sneaky and disrespectful in those vlogs. I mean, like, he would make inappropriate comments about other women, including her friends, right in front of her face. He even went as far as commenting on her friend Jessie's Instagram, talking about how good she looked, and he wouldn't let it go. He spoke about this woman way too often, and Latoya laughed it off, but I knew it bothered her. But frankly, I feel like her allowing it only showed him that it was okay for him to disrespect her. And this is why I think he took it a step further. Come on, to take someone on a trip while your pregnant wife is at home, that's a whole nother level of disrespectful.
Has he ever put his hands on you?
So I went on a boat cruise and I cheated on Adam. I got physical with a male. We didn't have intercourse at all, but when I got back from the cruise, Adam found out about it. When I walked in the house, I saw him sitting on the couch and he just looked like irate, and it kind of scared me because I was like, what's going on here? You know, because I didn't think that he would know what I was doing on a cruise in the middle of the ocean. So I went upstairs and I went to bed because I was tired. And when I went to bed, he came in the room and he turned on the light and he grabbed my legs and pulled me, like drug me off the bed. He picked me up, shoved me against the wall, and he started to like choke me. And the kids ran into the room. They started crying, you know, they were saying, "Daddy, take your hands off mommy. What are you doing? You're hurting mommy." And then he took my phone, he smashed it. And at this point, I was so scared. I was terrified. I literally thought I was gonna die that day. I ran out the house and I was going to like the neighbors' homes and trying to figure out, okay, I need to call somebody. People would expect you to call the police, but I would never call the police on a black man. And knowing our status in this country, we are green card holders, you can literally get deported. So I was thinking about his future and not thinking about myself.
I honestly don't blame Latoya for having fun with a little boy toy on a cruise, because look what she had to endure at home. The mental and verbal abuse, the way he spoke to her while pregnant, the way he treated her, him trying to take another woman on vacation while she was pregnant. I feel like she had every right to let her hair down and have a little fun. He couldn't take a dose of his own medicine. That's his problem. And I can't believe that he physically abused her, especially while the children were home. But then again, when I think about it, I can kind of believe it because of his mannerisms on camera. Like, he had this really stoic presence, like passive aggressiveness about him. I could tell like he wasn't really for the bullshit, and she did seem a little jumpy around him at times, and I think that is indicative to physical abuse. I could be wrong. Not trying to throw allegations out there. These are simply my observations from being a viewer. Let me just say that. But I understand where she's coming from about calling the cops, because if you guys aren't familiar with them, they are from Canada. They recently moved to Atlanta. And by the way, Latoya is a cast member on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, if you didn't know. So, yeah, I think she had every right to have a little fun and let her hair down. Listen, chi back. Chi back, sis. Let's continue.
Although I should have called the police because he did abuse me physically, mentally, and emotionally. He was emotionally and mentally, you know, abusive. I remember, you know, one time I wanted to call it quits, and he said, "You don't even own the rights to your trademark. I own you. Like, you are not going to be successful on your own," you know? And every time I would try to leave, he would always scare me into staying. You know, look what we've built together. We have these beautiful children, you know, our fans look up to us. And I feel like those things always kept me in the marriage, you know, my kids and all of our supporters looking up to us, because we were like the top Black family vlogger, you know, and I didn't want to be just another statistic of a broken Black family.
This is really an unfortunate situation because I really did enjoy Latoya's life. I mean, like, you guys think I talk about vloggers, but she was a real vlogger, like real deal. It was, you know, it was good while it lasted, and it's so unfortunate to see it unfold right here on the internet. It's so sad, especially for their 3 beautiful children, and this is why it is so important to make sure you are ready for a commitment. Don't do it for a career. Don't do it for your family. Don't do it for the views, sis. Do it because you want to do it and you feel like it's right. I feel like this was a very valuable lesson for young people. Although this is a very boring reaction because that was a very boring interview. I have to be honest, guys. And I am done with it right now at this point. If you want to see it in its entirety, be sure to go check it out over on Latoya Forever's channel. If not, I understand. With that being said, friends, you already know the vibes. Like what you like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And I will talk to you down below and in the next video.